welcome to a very special episode of Bard Brunch. Today, we are going to have some very, very wonderful guests with us. For those of you who have seen Ricky and Ordana in the comments section ever, they are actually the founders, runners, main reviewers of the Young-Howze Theater Journal. They're having an awards show tonight, and they're going to be on the show live here with us today. So they can talk all about that, all about their project. It's going to be an amazing, fun time. I'm super, super excited. Before that, let's get me a little drunk. Today we're going to be making a Tempest cocktail. So yeah, big old glass, because your girl needs a big old glass of alcohol right now. Fun thing, we're actually going to be using this Barefoot on Tap Moscato. Obviously Moscato, because I'm a Moscato queen, but for anyone who knows my personal history with the Tempest, there was a 2018 production that I was in that got rave reviews, and a big part of it was because Miranda was barefoot, and that was a big thing that people talk about all the time. And I'm like, dude, what have you? She lives on a beach, and her parent is magic, like. He's either enchanted things to be away from her or just banished rough step-in areas anyway. Or something, I don't know, but like, why the fuck would she wear shoes? She has been raised outside of society. She would not have shoes. Anyway, so that's some Moscato in there. Barefoot on Tap Moscato. We also have this Kraken rum. Kraken, release the Kraken. Also, look at this little tiny jug that it comes in. This is a little jug that I will see Poppy drinking out of someday when she's middle-aged and done with us all. All right, we're just gonna judge some of that in the, as always, measure with your heart if you're following along at home. And then we have some OJ. OJ. What I really wanted this to look like was a post-apocalyptic sunset, I guess, because a lot of people think of Tempest as water and waves, of course, but also it's a storm. It's a big storm. The whole first part of the Tempest, which is a tempest happening, is a massive sea storm created by magic to wreck this ship. So like, we gotta have some lightning, some dramatic sun. All right, I'm gonna put some glitter in here, and then I'm gonna. Before I even add any more, I'm going to taste it and see how we're doing, because I may need to add more components of other stuff. Straw. Just so I can see. We can definitely do more alcohol. All right. We can always do more alcohol. I'm going to put some more rum in here. There we go. That's a pretty girl. All right. I'm going to bring the wine back over. You're a heavy girl. All right. We love a heavy girl of wine. Listen, that's basically, if I had a Tinder, that would be my bio. I am a heavy box of wine. And that's all I'd say. Great. So she's mixing, she's marinating in there. I'm gonna put some maraschino cherries in here, just for fun, just to have that little burst of flavor. 2. Do I want 3? I want 3. No, I want 3. For the 3 goddesses that show up to marry the lovely couple in the show. Which, in my cut down version, I just changed into 1 person, because why do we need it to be 3? I'm adding more glitter. We can always have more glitter. And this is an award show day! We need more glitter! This award show, by the way, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern. Free to watch. On the YouTubes. We're going to be posting the link in the comments and stuff, but it's wonderful. My company itself is nominated for 7 awards. Okay, so we have 2 of my actors nominated for Comedic Performance of the Year. We have Ellen Coe as Cranberry in Silent But Deadly, and we have Chris Wygant as Wyatt in I'm Your Hamlet. Then we are nominated for Nonprofit Theater of the Year. My first ever solo show is Full of Woe, was nominated for Storyteller of the Year. This show itself was nominated for Streaming Series of the Year. I was nominated for Screen Manager of the Year, and what is the seventh one? Your girl has forgotten. Chris, what was I nominated for? Nonprofit. I'm Your Hamlet. Oh, I'm Your Hamlet, long form Zoom play of the year. That one, yes. Because I had already said that. I thought that I had said it again, but yeah. Oh, Dana's here. Dana knows. Dana knows. Dana knows all my shit. All right, good on Dana. Thank you. I barely slept, and for those of you who follow me on social media, you'll know that a few days ago I had a massive gas leak in my apartment. I was actually kind of laughing, like, oh, it was good that we got lots of delivery food that day. It was good because if we had turned on the stove at all, we would have blown up the place. Yeah. Ooh, baby, I love the way. All right. This glittery, lovely mess. Ooh, sleep. What sleep? Who even knows? Great. So, I'm gonna set this over there. I have some leftover Domino's bread twist that I'm gonna eat because again, I really did not sleep, and I am helping run this amazing award show tonight, so I'm really amped up on that, and I like can't cook anything right now because my brain is like, psh. But we're gonna show something from the Young-Howze Theater Journal's YouTube, actually one of the more recent, just like 5-minute videos, just to show how they support the shows that they review and all that stuff. They're actually doing an unboxing video of one of the shows that they were reviewing. So please just take a look, enjoy. I'm gonna drink a lot of this while y'all doing that.
We got a lovely package from our friends at Speakeasy on Demand. They're doing this really cool show that's burlesque and all these things. And one of the elements is a drink package. So you're here for our unboxing. It says fragile. These scissors might be a problem, but wish us luck. And of course, I didn't do it right. Yes, I did. Oh, okay. We got this. Ooh, 15% off our next experience. That's really cute. And then here's the drinks. 5 of them, to be exact. Hold on, let me make sure you guys aren't staring into the light. Stop moving, cameraman. By the way, Ricky's holding the camera, if you haven't guessed. Okay. Then, ooh, this is really pretty. I like this bag. I don't care what's in it. It says Bar Lab, and you don't have to back up. Wow. Okay, so here's all the ingredients. Cucumber, Thai basil, Collins, rosemary, old fashioned, bitch, don't kill my vibe. Banana bread, old fashioned, and strawberry field swizzle. Then we have dried herbs and stuff. Go back down. I'm gonna fuss with the cameraman the whole time. I'm so sorry. Ooh. We got small bottles of bourbon and whiskey. I'm really excited about that. Okay, this is all adult and stuff. Look at this really cool reusable straw. My clicking isn't doing it justice. Candy hearts because Valentine's Day. And then after this, I think that's it. As soon as I can open it, you guys, it's going to be interesting. If I throw it across the room, you'll forgive me, right? And all this fails. Sharp object. We just got this, and we had to show you guys. And I'm so excited. Do as I say, not as I do. Do not open the package this way. Okay, and in here, oh, it's more liquor. You guys, it's like they know me. So, to recap, we have 6 bottles of Absolute Vodka, 1 bottle of rye whiskey. Hold on, make sure the lights. If Ricky doesn't move, I'll get the lighting right. 1 bottle bourbon whiskey. Candy hearts. Stop moving, Ricky. There we go. A metal straw, which I think is my favorite thing. Dried herbs and decorations. The juicy ingredients that go into each cocktail, which is why this needs to be refrigerated. A speakeasy coupon, but most importantly, the actual drink recipes, because yeah, we need to know that. Be interesting if we didn't, right? All right, you guys, we love you very, very much. And when we have our anniversary on February 14th, you will see us also review this. All right, you guys, ta-ta.
Please welcome to the show the talented, the wonderful, the ever supportive, the creative geniuses behind the Young-Howze Theater Journal. Yay!
It's Genny from the Brunch.
You keep talking us up like that, we'll get swelled heads, and they will stay swelled. They'll never go down. We'll just be big-headed and happy about it.
Well, sometimes, especially when you're like running an award show, you need to have a swole head because you know what? You need that confidence. You're giving out awards. You should have that confidence. You give
Yes.
Yeah, it takes.
It's all our fault, basically.
Oh yeah, confidence, ego, stupidity, whichever one works.
The combination, really.
Yeah.
So yes, award show. We're so stoked.
We're very stoked, a little bit nervous.
Can't you tell?
That's just my general vibe every day.
And I'm looking at him like, Genny didn't sleep. I'm like, oh, neither did I. We should have just talked to each other. I should have just texted Genny while I was not sleeping.
Oh.
I tried to sleep for a little bit. Sorry, no, go on, do your thing.
I was just going to say, add awkward to injury, Ricky will be getting up at some point to pick up our DoorDash because I didn't think to order it way earlier than now.
That's adulting for you.
Yep, yeah. Live entertainment, everybody. You never know what's gonna happen. A few times we've had like UPS show up during the show. It's fine. Things happen. My building, well, not my whole building, just a little tiny part, which was my place, on fire. Y'all saw that. That was fun time.
Oh, I know.
Yes. It's like crispy Genny, the new recipe on Bard Brunch.
It's so funny being here because we're your biggest fans.
So we're usually in the chat, like, talking you to death. So.
I was like, oh, wait, it's 1 o'clock. We're not watching Genny. Oh, wait, we're on Genny.
Yeah,
Okay.
So of course I love you both and appreciate everything that you're doing. But for anyone who's watching who doesn't know who y'all are, please give a little elevator pitch as to who y'all are and what y'all are doing.
Short and succinct. That's Dana's job.
That's me. So we are Ricky and Dana, R&D YoungHowze of the Young-Howze Theater Journal. We've been reviewing theater first in person starting in 2016. And then come 2020, the world decided to implode upon itself. And we shifted with it and we started reviewing digital theater. It went from just a few shows in the beginning that we knew from friends and like through the grapevine to now we're at over 150 digital shows since last March. So it hasn't even been a year and we're at 150 shows. And our main mission is just to spread the word that artists are working really hard right now. And we need to respect the fact that, everything sucks still. And we're trying to get back to normal. And I hope we find the new normal, so to speak. I hate that phrase, but it's all I got.
I hope we find a normal. I don't know what y'all were like, but my 2020 January wasn't normal as hell.
Yeah, so like just a normal. But we're hoping to show that artists are working really hard. I mean, I think the one thing that has been normal and has kept a lot of people afloat is art. And I think theater is so important to the fabric of our society, and we just want to highlight that. And that's kind of where the award show came from. It came from the idea to sort of honor, to honor all these hardworking people who are like, yeah, okay, everything's imploding around me. I don't feel good. I just want to put on my quarantine pounds and call it a day in my blankie. But while I'm doing that, let me also make art. And so we wanted to honor them.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love that you both are such advocates for theater as it is right now. So many people are like, it's not theater, it's film, it's whatever. But even when the world opens back up, I very much think that digital theater is going to stay around either in its current form, or we're going to be able to have access for like a different ticket price or whatever for shows being streamed out from live stages, because it's so much more accessible now. I mean, even in New York, there's so many landmark buildings that aren't like ADA compliant, and now like anyone can see those shows from anywhere. I mean, my entire like family in West Virginia is able to watch my shows. They watch more of my shows than they ever have because they haven't been able to come up to New York. So I think it's going to be around for a very long time, and I do really appreciate that you're both such large champions of this because it validates it. It validates it, and we all owe you so much, like such a debt of gratitude for validating what we've been doing this entire time.
Yeah, the digital theater medium, as I say, as DoorDash is coming up in 2 minutes, the digital theater medium has just exploded.
Yeah.
Because there's a big power vacuum. Like the digital, like the brick and mortar spaces are gone, and so they're gone, and so they all got to rise up to the top. And I think during this time, what happened is there was just unlike any other time in history, like a new genre of theater has come out and been able to been tested, battle worn, come out, and I think we've seen like 5 years of evolution in a new genre of theater that is really going to benefit everybody, but especially benefit underserved communities in the future.
Absolutely. One of our thesis statement about digital theater, so to speak, is that it is its own separate art form from theater, but it's also sort of, it's related to theater. I think people forget theater and film are brother and sister, not far away from each other. They, film came from theater, TV came from theater. That's why a lot of the people you saw on I Love Lucy and all those shows started out in vaudeville. And so it's the same thing. Digital theater is just another evolution in theater's history. And our thesis statement doesn't work if brick and mortar doesn't come back, because like you said, we think this is going to keep existing. We're hoping that theaters think of this as sort of like money in the background that they could make, that maybe you expand to an audience you didn't know. You reach out to people you may not have known before. You might be able to try different things. I mean, the best thing about digital theater, one of the best things, I have a whole laundry list, but one of the best things is that it's its own black box. And so you can test run shows that, instead of renting a space and paying for the space and having all that money you have to spend to just test run your show, you can test it out online for very minimal overhead and then get those notes that you need to develop it even more. So digital theater is great for development. It's great for creative work that's sort of outside of the box. It's great for just setting up your camera and recording your stage show. And so there's so much you can do with this medium, and we're hoping people use it to its full capacity.
Yeah, and we hope people use it, run with it. It's not owned by anyone. It's not developed in like a lab somewhere. It is all rubber meets the road practicality.
Of course. This all obviously is making sense to me because I do a lot of digital theater. But from your perspective, because also in the award ceremony, there's different awards for like best film and best play and all that stuff. What to you differentiates digital theater versus a film?
I'll let the film person do that.
So
that's a good chance for me to. I shall return.
While Ricky gets DoorDash, I will be here looking pretty. Just stare at this. For me, the difference between digital theater and film, and I've been working in film on and off most of my life, is that digital theater is, I never find the right word. I always say flat, but that's not what I mean. When it comes to digital theater, the focus is more on the words and the actor sort of standing in front of you. In film, you don't necessarily want a static image, where in theater, it's okay to have like a bit of movement and a bit of static. In film, like you're doing these big like overhead craning shots and these wide shots and like, let's stay on this, bird. Think about something like American Beauty, where they film the plastic bag and it's him sort of exploring his art. Well, that's part of the story, right? But I feel like if you did that in a play, you would then be distracted from all the things going on. Because plays are, in my opinion, and of course, I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments saying, Dana doesn't know what they're talking about. But in theater, in my opinion, it's very much about characters saying things, even if that's not what they mean. It's about talking through those emotions, even if you're saying the opposite of what you're feeling. So you might be saying, oh, I'm so happy. This is the best day of my life, where the character's secretly feeling I'm nervous. Where in film, you might not have a character saying anything, and they might just be sitting playing with a deck of cards for 5 minutes, and that's how they show those emotions. And so that's, to me, is the biggest difference between digital theater and film, where digital theater is like, okay, let's take some time, let's talk through these emotions, let's talk to each other, let's have interpersonal relationships. Film has those interpersonal relationships, but it can also spend on time on like a single moment, or a beautiful image of the sea in the background, where you don't necessarily want to do that in theater. You don't want to sort of take this, and especially in digital theater, I feel like when you get to 90 minutes in digital theater, that's when people's brains go click. And so to keep them focused, you want to keep it at about the 90-minute mark. I has coffee.
We all can live. Dana's coffee is here.
Yeah.
So that's basically, my thoughts about it. We're talking about what makes digital theater different from film.
Besides a billion things?
Yeah, there's a lot of things, but I was talking about how in theater you can kind of talk more, and you're not going to like film 10 minutes of a character playing cards in digital theater.
Yeah, we had a lot of conversations, because when we met in grad school, they were a screenwriter and I was a playwright. And so we had a lot of conversations, insert arguments, about which was the easier job.
The answer is neither.
Answer is neither and both, and film. Because I know that just it's two different brains. And so what I've realized a lot looking at this is that we're kind of perfect for reviewing digital theater, because a lot of times I'll go like, Dana, this is a film.
Mhm.
You need to take this one or there. And one of the biggest things we've realized is that the camera is a surrogate for the audience in digital theater.
Yeah.
It's not it's not the director's voice. Hello, Kitty. It's not the camera operator, stuff like that. It is literally just the proscenium, or like if wherever the audience would be looking on stage, looking at you, that's where the camera will be. And we've all kind of just had a handshake agreement that that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we talk about, sorry, Genny, is like breaking the fifth wall, which I now realize is also a reference to Rick and Morty, because I started watching that recently, but we'll get into that another time.
Oh, God.
But you're not just breaking the fourth wall as in talking to your audience, you're breaking the fifth wall between the screen and your actors and the screen and your audience. And so you're trying to break through all these barriers and reach out and touch somebody. And I feel like when it's on a stage, you don't have to work. I don't want to say work as hard. What I mean is like they see you, they feel you, they hear it, they know it. And in film, you don't necessarily have to work as hard. It's like they can do a camera angle that makes you feel uneasy. They can do all these things. Where in digital theater, you have to be ready to sort of punch through with that emotion at a higher stakes level.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. There's that extra element in digital theater where you have to go through yet another hurdle to get to the audience and have them understand what's going on. So yeah, I totally understand that. On to my fun question, of course. And you've heard me ask this every single time I've done bar brunch. We all have our horror stories. One of mine. I have many. But this
I'm collecting yours. I can actually put them all in a book when we're.
One of mine that I don't think I've actually talked about on this show, but it wasn't so much of an onstage horror story, because onstage everything was fine, and we even talked to some reviews afterwards. Like, did you notice that this was what was happening? And they were like, no. But we had cast someone in our Midsummer Night's Dream to play Theseus, who we had never worked with before. That a friend kind of pushed us into casting because this person hadn't acted for 16 years, wanted to get back into it, la. They never learned their lines at all. We had extra one-on-one rehearsals with them.
Oh, no.
They still had script in hand the entire time. There was no intonation whenever they read. It was a real struggle to get through. And finally, like 4 or 5 days before the show, they sent me an email saying, hey, I'm not going to have my lines memorized by the time the show goes off. And it was kind of a longer email than that, but Chris and I were both in the room at the same time, and we were just sitting there like, is this guy quitting? What is this guy doing? So any director who hears that an actor is not going to learn their lines by the time the show happens has a choice to make. They either have to be okay with that or be okay with replacing someone who also is probably not going to learn their lines. We decided to take the latter route, because we also decided, like, if he wanted to stay in the show, he wouldn't have told us this. We sent an email like, we fully understand. There's no need for you to come to any further rehearsals, because this was too much for you to dive into after 16 years. We get it. You're released. It is fine. Turns out that's not what he wanted. He actually wanted us to rehearse with him every single day for about 5 hours extra on top of the rehearsals we already had, and was very, very mad at us for not accommodating him at that. He also said that all of the one-on-one rehearsals were not rehearsals. They were just getting to know you rehearsals, all of them. And it lasted for hours and hours and hours. And what we wound up having to do was cast someone, in my opinion, way too young for the role, but did it spectacularly. But we had, Theseus is like the Duke of the realm. We had this big fake law book, and that's what all of his lines were written inside of, so he could just pretend to be looking up laws the entire time. And he was a good enough cold reader and had been in the show as Lysander before that he kind of understood what was going on, and no one knew what was happening, except for we were still getting emails throughout the entire process, even like backstage of this guy like reaming us out. He pretended to be a Actors Equity like associate person through like a different email, but the exact same like wording and stuff to try and tell me off, even though he wasn't Actors Equity, so I don't even know what that was.
Wow.
And it a very frustrating, weird time, and that it worked out, but it caused us like 12 hours of stress for one day, and then like several random bursts of "Why are you emailing me?" throughout the actual run of the show. Oh. As people who have seen a lot of theater, and as people who have done a lot of creative works yourselves, what are some of your favorite horror stories?
You first or me first?
I'll go first because Dana says I had to do this one. I was always deciding that I was going to be on your show eventually, and that I was trying to figure out which one to do, but Dana says this one is the one we had to do. This wasn't an on stage during the show. This was while we were setting up for another show. We were actually striking at a show. I used to run the fly rail, which did not theater people. That means there, those things with sandbags, there's lines, and so something on stage goes here, and I pull it down and it goes up, and there's about 400, 500 pounds to a ton of weight on this side that counterbalances the weight. And so when I pull it up, it feels like you would just do this. Well, for some reason we had a line that was in the back of the theater. Like if this is all the theater, this was the back of the stage that we called just the dead line that was there to hang old lights, stuff we didn't want. Sometimes we would just rig furniture that we didn't want to have. We tie it up, tie it on the thing up there. I don't know why, but if we wanted to get rid of it, it got up there, and so it would be hanging above our heads. And one time, as we were striking, we were taking a bunch of stuff weight off. Now, if you know a counterbalance system, it's like a seesaw, which means that when you take weight off here, you got to take weight off there. Well, someone had apparently never done that, and so they just locked it off, walked out, left for the day. So the next day, we're trying to bring it in. Me and the person that I won't name their name, not because it's their fault, just I don't know if they put this out there. I hold it. We call line 38 flying out. We were all of a sudden that has about 500 more pounds than supposed to be on it. It starts to go shoot straight down. My professor holding it goes 10 feet up in the air. I have to wrap my arm around it. I know I'm about 370, so I knew I could weigh it. I lock it off. We have to get, normally we would call clear the stage, but we needed everybody at all to find any kind of weight, anything to put on the beam that was on the ground so that we could weigh it off. I think it took we called about 6 guys. We called any guy who'd ever worked in the fly rail to come up, grab the line, and it was literally 30 minutes of us slowly manhandling the weight down so it would gravity and would just sit flat so we could take weight off of it. I think we ended up taking about 400, 500 pounds off of it, and it was almost a really bad situation. And from then on, whenever I was a production manager before Dystonia really took hit, I would tell everyone, you don't need to worry about your flubbing a line. You don't need to worry about tripping. Look up. If I didn't like you, I could just let it fall on you.
That sounds so terrifying.
Oh, it was. And I had to go into scholarship the next day.
See, and that was a before me story. So every time Ricky tells it, I'm like, what? How? What happened? My horror stories, actually, I don't have one from theater. I probably do, but I couldn't remember. But I do have a good one from working on a film one time. I was a sort of script manager, half assistant director. I was doing a lot of stuff because it was, small set film. Everybody does 20 jobs. Mm-hmm. And we had this one scene where this girl's supposed to be like a really hippie girl, and she has her basket full of lotions and potions, and there are these little tiny glass bottles that you get from like Michael's or one of the other hobby shops. And so she has that basket, and so the bad guy playing the bad guy is supposed to hit her basket and knock everything out. It's supposed to be chaos and everything. Well, we're all standing behind the camera watching. He goes and he hits the basket, and the glass breaks. All the glass vials break. He's bleeding. There's color, water everywhere. Everybody's covered. And I do what I think is a natural response of, oh my God, are you okay? And then I get yelled at because I ruined the shot. I'm like, there's a bleeding actor. I don't think there's a shot. It's time out. There's bleeding. So that was my sort of filmic horror story.
I get that a lot. I fully understand the thing is already ruined. Why are you yelling at me for like, what were we doing to you? Can you tell me what is happening here? So I'm very sorry that happened to you, but it is a good story for now. So that's what all bad stories are. They're good, fun stories for later.
Yes, exactly.
So of course, before I let you go, because you have a whole awards show to do tonight, and I'm sure there's a tech run at some point that I don't remember what time that is because I don't remember time at all, and I need to still figure out ways to upload things to StreamYard that aren't. For anyone who doesn't know StreamYard, you can only have 100 picture or video overlays. You can't have more than that. And this is a nominees and award winners show, so like we have more than that, which is great. Y'all have nominated like so many people, and this is wonderful, and so many people are being honored and winning things and amazing. StreamYard doesn't like that, and they need to fix that. Anyway, before I let y'all go, yeah, what? You want to ask a question? Come over here and ask a question. Come over here.
Oh, come over here.
Come over here and ask a question. Chris has a
I have
question.
a question. Make sure.
Chris!
Chris!
We love Chris almost more than we love Jenny. And we love Jenny a lot.
Valid.
I just woke up the dog. Okay, hold on. Can I be? There I am. Hi. Oh, I have to get way over here. Way over here. Okay, I'll get. Oh my God, I'm way too close. Hold on. There we go. Hi. All right. I was looking around at all your stuff, and I think there was something in the Atlantic or something that said, has 2020 killed theater, and you guys actually have, I think, maybe merch that says 2020 your theater didn't die.
Yes.
And I love that so much. And I was like, oh my God, did you guys make that up? That was such a good thing. So I just wanted to point out, it's not really a question, but a comment. You have that merch that says that, and I thought that was just such a cool thing to say because it didn't. And people keep saying it did, and you're proof and everything that it did not. So, and I love that merch. It's so cute. Bye.
Yes. By the way, that link is in our bio.
So, buy some stuff so we can do more stuff.
Yes. Also, I think I posted this comments and it's scrolling at the bottom, but for anyone who wants to donate to either the award show or just to y'all in general to keep doing what y'all are doing, there's Venmo and there's PayPal options. So everyone, please do that, please. Because
we're running the fundraiser through the 28th. Everything will be split up
And
evenly
then
amongst
after
everyone.
the 28th, you can pay us personally. But until then, we're splitting it up between the whole team, Jenny included, because everybody worked hard for, we're just volunteering because we believe in what you do. And so they mean the world to us. Everybody who's doing theater right now, you mean the world to us. Please come watch the show.
Please.
It's tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and a whole bunch of other times that I can't remember. We have people coming
from all over the world, so they always say, well, it's 2 a.m. our time. It was like,
yeah.
Sorry?
I would have done it 2 a.m. my time, but no.
So also what you're saying is people should donate twice, right? Like once now before the 28th and then once just to y'all personally after the 28th, yes?
Personally.
Exactly. Or often, once a month, that's fine too.
If y'all want to create a super PAC just for us, we'll stay in office forever.
Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful plans. I love it. Is there anything else that you would like anyone to know about the show tonight or yourselves in general before I let y'all go do very important things? Oh, also, you're wearing some lovely outfits. If you would like to give a shout out to your sponsors.
We were sponsored by Torrid, who is a lovely plus size. I say plus size. They go from like 12 to 30, so it's not even plus size. It's like human size brand that creates beautiful clothing, and they were working with us, and we're both non-binary, so Ricky will be stealing all my clothes. And it was just wonderful. They sent us 3 outfits, and one of them we got to share with you guys at Bar Brunch, which we were so stoked about.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is just read our blog. You know, when you guys read and you tell us that what we said means something to you, that means the world to us. It changes our lives every single time. And so please just keep reading. Tell us everything. You know, if you disagree with us, you will never hurt our feelings. You can totally say,
not.
I think you're wrong on this. We love it. Just keep talking to us.
Yep.
A lot of times in your reviews, I'm like, oh, well, thank God y'all were so nice, because here are all the reasons why it went wrong. So good. Really, thank you so much, not only for being here, but for everything that you do, and also for choosing to nominate and recognize so many people tonight during the award show. I'm so happy to be involved. I'm so happy to be nominated, and I'm so happy to know you both. So thank you so much for everything.
We're happy to know
love
you. Eventually, we gotta like meet and hug.
Yeah,
right?
As soon as vaccines are administered, you're getting a hug.
Everyone wear a mask right now so I can hug these people. Okay.
Yes.
We need this pandemic gone.
Yes.
I'm clearly wrong. I love you both so much. Thank you again for being on. I'm thoroughly drunk, so let's do a sign out. All right. Hi, y'all. Woo, I put a lot of rum in here. Thank you again to Ricky and Dana for being on this show, and for all your support to all of the amazing shows. And also a big congratulations to all of the shows that were nominated for awards for tonight. This is going to be such a fun, amazing time. I'm so thrilled with everything that y'all are going to see, and everyone who's nominated, and it's just a fun time. Next week we have Mementi Productions. Yes, I have a lot of rum in my system right now. Yes, I did that right. I can tell time. Yes, so that's next week. They are going to be coming on the show to talk about everything that they're doing, and I'm super excited about that. But again, for right now, please remember that the Young-Howze Theater Awards are tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure you know at least one person who's nominated for something, because, again, Ricky and Dana have seen over 150 shows since the pandemic started. So you know someone who's nominated. You know me, and I'm nominated. So you know at least one person. The show is an hour long. Please just come by, show your support, donate if you can, share if you can't. And I'm gonna maybe lay down for a bit, because, again, I have a lot of rum in my system. I will see you all at the awards tonight.